Hi there, and welcome to Creatives Get Real. This is Roben-Marie.
And I'm Sandi Keene, and these are real conversations about the creative life. Hey, Robin.
Hey, Sandi. How's it going?
Good. So, how do you feel about this topic? This one's another good one.
It is. It's one of your favorites, actually.
It is, but not particularly one of yours.
No, it's not.
So it's going to be interesting because we have very different viewpoints on this.
And I think, too, it comes from different personalities, different life experience.
You're right.
It's not good or bad. It's just different, right? And so we're going to talk about it because everyone out there listening is different and how they might see this topic as well. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
What's the topic?
Collaboration.
Which kind of scares me.
And I eat it with a spoon. I've taken I'm going to call it a bold stand. And I only collaborate. So I long ago made the decision that I do not want to ever teach a class alone. I only teach classes in collaboration because for me, I get such a spark off of the energy of another person back and forth, kind of like a podcast.
Exactly.
I really love that interplay because to me, the sum of two people is far greater than the two individuals.
Yeah. And you're right. You're absolutely right. But at the same time, it's also can be scary. You know, there's relying on another person. There's the intimacy or the closeness of working with someone like that. So there's definitely, and of course that's revealing kind of my side of it. You know, I'm what you call a
cautious collaborator.
I don't eat it with a spoon.
No, you have a very teeny tiny little fork that you're eating with.
A baby fork.
Yes, and you're still not sure.
Yeah, that's true. You're right. Even though we're doing this podcast together.
Which is most definitely a collaboration. And for the record, it was your idea.
Yeah. I've come a long way, Sandi, from the early days.
Of course, we do know each other really well. We've been friends for 10 years now.
Yeah.
And as we've revealed, we have slept in the same room on many occasions. So, yeah, we know each other pretty darn well.
Yeah, we do.
So there's trust.
Exactly, which for me is an important part of that collaboration or that process of collaborating. Yeah.
Yes. Well, I have to admit, even though, it is literally my hashtag creative collaborator. I love collaboration, but I'm not going to collaborate with just anyone. You know, there's a process that you go through. It's just like a friendship where you're, almost in an interview period where who are you and what's important to you and do our styles match? Not art styles, but our styles of work, our work ethic. Am I going to be too intense for you? Are you not going to live up to, I want to get things done. I want to get them done fast. Do you like that or don't like that?
Exactly. Well, so let's talk about collaboration as a tool. You know, what are some of the benefits of collaborating with someone else that you see as, because you are the queen of the collaboration, what are your, what's important to you and what do you find is the greatest benefit to you in doing that?
There are so many. I mean, I think there is a whole list of great benefits to collaboration. It goes from my very favorite one, which I've already said, which is just the energy of sparking each other, finishing each other's sentences. I have a great idea, and then that person just takes it to a level I would have never thought of. It's like, wow, you took my idea and made it 10 times better. And I never would have thought of that on my own. That process to me is like chocolate. I mean, it's the best thing in the world. So I adore that.
Yeah. And it's funny when you said that because I remember we've had many times in the past where I have this idea. And it's like I come up to the door and I want to open the door and go through and do, but then it's scary. And so I kind of don't.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have in the past done some collaborations, some that were, I guess you could say, sort of safe, where, you know, you create something at home and you mail it out and somebody works on it and sends it back to you or sends it off. And it's kind of a safe way to do it. I mean, you still have to rely on someone to follow through and do what they say they're going to do, but it's not quite as risky, I guess. And I mean, collaboration is, I mean, I'm using that term risky, but it's you're getting closer to that person. You're investing in that relationship and you're working together. And so for me, that can be a little bit scary. But there are so many benefits, especially when I know in the past we've talked about ideas and then you got an idea and then we play on that and it's like, oh my gosh, that we could do this and we can do that. And it is exciting when you see that come to life.
Right, that brainstorming process. I do really, really adore that. One of the other things that I really love is that you learn new techniques by working with someone else. You know, what is that you just did? What is that you just used? I've never seen that before. It can really expand your inspiration, your knowledge base, your skill set. I love that part of it too.
Yeah, good point. Because we each come at it with whatever those different skills are. And we can teach each other as we go through whatever that collaboration is. And there's so many. I mean, we've used the example of this podcast. This is a collaboration.
Absolutely.
And we're learning from each other, you know, different things. And then there's other things like with teaching, as you said, co-teaching with someone else and what you both bring to the table as far as the different things that you can offer. So there's definitely things to be learned from both sides, because when you're working with somebody, you learn about the other side of whatever needs to be done. Like for instance, with the podcast, Sandi's skill set's definitely the writing and the pulling out of the information and formulating. And then my skill set's the tech part of it. And so, but yet I still want to know about the other part and you are still involved in the other. So, but we're learning from each other in that department. So.
Well, it's so cool because, you know, you use what you do best, I use what I do best, and you put those two things together and they're both, you know, at the top of our skill sets.
Right.
So you've got a way better product than if I was trying to do the tech myself. You know, I say that I'm a tech bumbler, and I am. I bumble my way through things. It's like I kind of remember, I think I do this, and then I do oh wait, that didn't work. Maybe it was that. Yeah, that was it. That's how I do things. Whereas you know, it's at your fingertips. You know exactly what you're doing, and you've done it a million times.
Yeah, or to sit down and write something, I just stare at the blank page forever and get frustrated. And
then you call me, and I
call you. Help, Sandi, help me.
Yes, I have been known to do quite a bit of copywriting.
And you're so good at it. That's for sure. Yeah.
Well, thank you. You know, I've done it so much now and for so many people that it comes easily to me now because I'm very practiced at it.
Yeah, that's true.
But I also I love anything with organization. So to organize your thoughts is fun to me, just like organizing the pantry.
Okay.
I think the same way.
You do. Now you touched on, we talked about skill set, but we also are, when you collaborate, you reach new audiences too, a new circle of people that you probably wouldn't have, or maybe wouldn't have reached had you not done something that was collaborative.
Absolutely. Not only do you find new people to be inspired by, because you know, you're now intersecting two, like a Venn diagram, you're intersecting two circles here, and you're starting to see the people that those people, your collaboration partner looks up to and admires, and you're like, hey, I didn't even know this person existed. But they're also introducing you to their followers, and you're doing the same.
Yep.
So it's combining two audiences, which is always so interesting, because they will start sparking friendships as well.
That's true.
And they may not have met each other if you hadn't collaborated with someone.
Well, and this is true. We've talked about this in one of our earlier episodes. We talked about the Documented Life project that we started in 14. It kicked off in 15, I think, or 13 and 14.
13, 14.
It's been so long. But just what transpired from that collaboration we could just create this long list of all these different things that have happened to all of us in various ways. Friendships we've made, opportunities, doors that have opened, so many different things. And that was a collaboration. Now, that was a big collaboration because there was a lot of people that were involved in it, but it's a great way, especially if you're starting out or you're new, to have a partner and have something that you're doing together that can help you both maximize and gain the audience and the following, however that looks for both of the different groups. So it definitely is essential in opening up doors and building relationships with other people.
Yeah. I think it can also build your confidence. When you can see your art through someone else's eyes, which is what happens when you post things on social media, and you're seeing what other people are enjoying about your art, and you're like, wow, that was not my focus at all, but now that you've pointed that out, that's really cool, and maybe I'm going to start looking at that differently.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Whether it's technique or product or color or style, whatever. But yeah, seeing it through another person's eyes can be very revealing.
Yeah, that's a really good point. So how does somebody go about choosing someone to collaborate with, or not just choose the person, but figure out what is the collaboration about? What does it look like?
Right.
And this is something that you love and you enjoy so much. What do you find would be a good starting point for something like that?
I think that if you don't know a person really well, that you should start small, a limited collaboration, whether you're saying, hey, do you want to join me for a 30-day challenge or a 7-day challenge? And then you get a feel for what a person's workflow is like and what their style is like. So I like to start small. I'm keeping my eye out, whose style is different than mine, but I really enjoy it. I like it. I like them as a person. I want to find people that are encouraging other artists, that speak kindly, and who are showing up a lot. And by that, I mean they're posting consistently and revealing bits about themselves.
Okay. No,
that's what I look for. You. What about you?
Well, I think this is a really small way to start something, is to do a mail art swap with someone. Because then, some kind of an art swap where you agree to, we're going to do this. And then you can even post the results online. I received this or whatever, where you're really starting small. And it's somebody that you've reached out to because, as you said, you've seen the work that they create. You like them as a person from what they've shown you on social media. And there's somebody that you would want to go have lunch with. There's somebody you'd want to say, hey, I'd like to get to know you a little bit better. It's all part of, and we will talk about this in future episodes when we talk about the B word, branding. You get a feel for somebody based on the words that they use, the art that they create, the things that they show you, and you kind of know, this is my person. This is somebody that they're like me, or they're enough like me, but they're still different. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
So starting out small, where you're doing a mail art swap, or as you suggested, a smaller challenge of some kind, where you can get a feel for how they work. Are they going to meet a deadline, or, what are they like? I mean, and I would say too, it's important if you can do a video call with somebody and just chat. We call those virtual coffee chats, or in our case, we could do virtual water chats where you're just kind of saying hello to somebody and getting to know them a little bit. And if, an opportunity presents itself, that would be somebody that you might want to do something with. So, Doesn't
That's
have
a
to be a
really
big
good
thing.
point.
Doesn't have to be a podcast. It can be something very small.
Yeah, I would not recommend starting with something like that.
No.
It's open-ended.
Yeah, no.
You definitely want, because there are times when you want to collaborate with someone and you do, and you're thinking, okay, probably not my person.
Yeah,
I really
exactly.
like them as an artist, but we're too different.
Yeah.
Personally. So that's not my person. And you want it to end, and then there's no hard feelings. You just say, hey, that was great. I really enjoyed it. And then you move on.
Exactly. So having parameters or having some limitations on it are important, where, as you said, not open-ended.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And just getting to know them before you ask. So this is not, for me anyways, and I know not for you, this is not the time to I'm going to randomly choose someone and we're
No. No, I would not recommend that. At least not for me, for sure. I know you wouldn't, but yeah, even more so not for me. Yeah, that's too scary. Yeah, that's.
I mean, that could be cool, but that's not for me. I want to know more about a person before I collaborate.
Yeah.
Because often when I'm asking someone to collaborate, I'm really getting to know them, and there's a good chance that I really want to be friends with them as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. And it's okay to also look at the situation and say there's a benefit here for both of us, whether it's increasing your audience or just learning from that person, getting to know that person as you suggested. I just like to get to know them a little bit better and see if there could be a potential for a friendship here. So it's okay to go into it and have some, I don't want to say personal motive, but there's a reason why you want to collaborate with somebody. And I want to say this because to me, this is a really important thing. We're talking about ways of going about this. I think that it's very important if you reach out to somebody with an idea for a collaboration, that you need to have an idea of what that collaboration is. I really don't recommend that you reach out to someone and say, hey, let's collaborate. What do you think? Do you have some ideas? No. You need to, if you want to collaborate with somebody, you need to think it through and make a suggestion in your introduction or your email to them about what you're thinking of. It should not be that you put it in their court. You're reaching out to them and you're asking them. And I have had emails come to me and be, hey, I'd like to collaborate and I'm interested in doing something new. What do you think? What are your ideas? And I'm thinking, what? You should have that already kind of brainstormed or not planned out to the T, but at least have an idea so that you're presenting that to that person that you're reaching out to.
Yeah, the corollary would be, the guy, if you can remember back to when we were dating, but the guy who said, do you want to go on a date? We were like, well, what do you think? And they're like, I don't know. And you're like, oh crap, not another one of you.
Yeah, exactly. No. It's like, no, I think you need to give me an idea.
That's your responsibility. I could be wrong, but I think that's your responsibility.
Exactly.
You're asking me.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, the guy who comes up and says, would you like to go to this movie? I'd really love to see it. And I thought it'd be fun if we went together. You're far more interested than, I don't know, hang out.
Yeah, no. Yeah. And that, as you put it with the date, is the same with saying, and I think it's important if you can present it in a way that's thoughtful, that you've actually looked at my feed on Instagram and you know something about me. Putting that in there and saying, I read this blog post that you wrote and it, really connected with me. I've had this experience or whatever. What do you think about maybe blah, blah, blah?
Right.
That's a lot more thoughtful than just, hey, I'd love to get in front of your audience. Can you, do a collaboration with me? What do you think? You have any ideas? No, it doesn't work that way.
That's a very good point. Yes, it is. It actually is much like dating or, trying to find a new friend. It's like a friendship. You may not end up being friends and that's okay, but maybe you just continue to be great collaborators. But I've found that I'm trying to think if there's anyone I've ever collaborated with that I haven't become friends with, and the answer is no. I've become friends, in fact, good friends with everyone I've collaborated with.
Well, and you've made great choices. You've done it. You've done great in choosing and being a good collaborative partner as well.
Well, thank you. I try, that's definitely, I try. And I do my homework. And I think that's important, is doing your homework.
Absolutely.
Before you ask. And like I said, I kind of always am watching with that eye. It's like, if I was going to do a collaboration, who would I pick? And I'm looking on Instagram, and I'm also, if you want to do a collaboration with me, whoever you are, and you want to be my friend, that sounds kind of pathetic. But I'm looking for someone who's engaging me, who's talking to me, who answers my questions on Instagram, who is DMing me and saying, hey, I really liked how you did this. Can we talk about it more? Yes. And then it begins.
Yes, that is so true. You just, you get a feel, you really do. And you kind of, as you engage and you've got those conversations going and you're going back and forth, you just get a sense and you're like, I really like this person. I think that we would get along, and maybe, and then that step could be something that's simple, a simple collaboration of some kind. And that opens up the door. But I think too, doing it cold is a little harder because you don't really, that person doesn't know you. You reached out kind of out of the blue, and it's like, I don't even know this person. So you're hesitant because you don't really know if you feel like there's a connection there. So I think it's important, as you said too, to be engaging with that person. And if you're watching and you're looking, and it happens organically, naturally it does, I think, where you find the people that are going to be the ones you probably want to collaborate with in some way.
I agree.
Yeah.
So if I was going to ask you, what is your favorite kind of collaboration? Do you enjoy, would it be, like you said, exchanging mail art? Would it be the kind where you're sitting at a table together and you're passing a journal back and forth and seeing what happens? Or you could do that by mail as well. Or is it co-teaching? What would be your favorite way?
Yeah, that's a good question, because I haven't done nearly the number of collaborations that you have, because, it's just been a scary thing for me. And I feel like you really do put yourself out there when you collaborate. And that's kind of scary for me to do that. I love doing mail art swaps. I like that, but it's not quite as personal as, doing something where you're together doing it. I don't know that I've really done a lot of co-teaching, not a class where there's been myself and another person where we literally are doing it together. So I can't really speak for that. I've really enjoyed doing this podcast. I mean, I know we're new, it's in its infancy. This is, we're really at the very beginning, but I really look forward to our conversations. But the thing is, we've had these conversations before we ever started recording them. So it's part of our relationship and our friendship. Would I be open to something a little bit more to kind of see? I don't know. I'd have to, baby steps for me. That little fork might get a little bit bigger, but right now it's kind of small. But that's okay, because I don't want anyone listening to feel like feeling that way is somehow maybe makes you not a good candidate for a collaboration, because that's not really true. But I would be open to something a little bit more, but baby steps for me. And this podcast is a big step for me. And we've talked about other ideas that are much larger than this, but so I love doing swaps. But right now I don't really have a lot under my belt that can, that says these are my absolute favorite kinds of collaborations.
Well, I enjoy co-teaching very much. Anybody who knows me knows that Ray Missigman is my co-teacher. And dang, if you're going to pick somebody, that's somebody good. She brings a lot to the table. I have to go shopping for bags of stuff to bring to the table to kind of say, well, I've got this. I see your 2 truckloads. I've got this big bag. Is that enough? So I love that. But if I had to pick one thing that I really, really love, it is sitting at a table passing journals back and forth. that kind of collaboration where we often do it to a song.
Yes. What
I
did
like to.
we called those musical chairs, journal musical chairs, something like that, where we would time it
Right.
and then we'd have it, the song, and then we pass it and keep passing it. It's been a long time since we've done that, but that is a lot of fun. It's immediate gratification too, because you're like right in the moment.
Yes. And if no one's seen us do it or knows what we're talking about, you're sitting around a table. We've done it in retreats, so there's generally 4 or 5 people. And you all open up your journal and you start a page. And you have the length of one song to, slap down some paint or whatever you want to do to start your page. And then you pass your journal and you're passing it to the person on your left. And every song you switch again until it comes back to you. And you are completely shocked at what you get back. You're like, I would have never made this. I love this. And there are so many ideas on that page that you walk away with. I love that.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you on that. And I've actually incorporated that into some of my in-person course teaching, where we work on a large paper and we're there's a timer set and we're working, painting, stenciling, whatever, and we keep passing it around. And by the time we get through, 20 people, we have these huge pieces of paper, and then we cut them up into smaller bits and we create these awesome piles, almost like a fabric sampler or a wallpaper sampler. And then you have a chunk of papers that everyone has touched and everyone has been a part of, and colors you probably wouldn't have used, and the way that they used it. And it really is gratifying. I'm getting goosebumps right now just thinking about it, because it's so much fun. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. That's a good one. And it's something that you could really do at any time when you're gathered with your friends.
Yeah. And, if you don't have people in your town, we have participated in once by mail.
Yes.
You can do it by mail, where you just go from person to person to person. And when you get back that completed journal page or sheet of paper that can then become a really cool collaborative product, it can be stickers or cards or whatever.
Right.
That is amazing. I love that process. So if you're out there and you've never tried a collaboration, especially one as simple as that, totally steal this idea and do it. It's so much fun.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I mean, you could actually even do it and include your kids. Have them.
Absolutely.
That would be fun to have a family collaboration.
Yeah, little handprints in there, and that would be cool. I hadn't thought about that. I mean, I don't have kids, so, but
I wonder who put this Thomas the Tank Engine sticker on this.
For sure. Is that chocolate? Chocolate? Yeah, I love that. I love that idea.
So that would be one of my very, very favorites. So I guess the way we end this is just talking about the fact that this requires bravery. And we talk about being brave and having courage, because it's so essential in art, period. There's so many ways that you have to put yourself out there and be brave. And this is just another one.
Yeah, absolutely. But rewarding. And if you, and going back to what we were saying about, you said, you used the words doing your homework. If you really are feeling like you've connected with someone and you feel like there's been some engagement, it's okay to reach out and be thoughtful about it and say, hey, would you be interested in doing this? And it's okay if someone says they can't, or it's not the right time for them. It's okay. It's not you. It's just that they just can't do it at that time. But absolutely. And then you'll be hooked. I mean, again, we're not saying go to somebody and say, hey, let's do a podcast. That's huge. But something smaller, a mail art swap, a swap where you're just, working like we were just talking about, are very easy ones that you can start with and do for sure. Yeah.
Well, I hope that someone who's listening to this is spurred on and decides that they're finally going to take that step, and they're going to ask someone they've really been watching and say, hey, let's do a collaboration. That would
awesome. And let us know. Let us know.
Yes.
Tag us in your, if you post on social, tag us and let us know that, this was a result of that, so that we know that, you reached out to somebody and you were brave and did this.
That would be so cool.
I know.
I'm really going to be disappointed if that doesn't happen. Don't disappoint me, people.
No.
Somebody be brave. Start a collaboration and then tag us so we can come and look at you and,
Yep.
Just give you kudos for being brave and for doing this cool thing.
Yep. Just hashtag Creatives Get Real podcast.
Okay.
We can find you. That's right. Yes. We can find you.
Awesome.
Well, Sandi, this was great. Thanks for chatting today about collaboration. And
thanks for collaborating with me, Robin.
I love it. Thanks for saying yes.
That was an easy one. Didn't have to think about it. Yes.
I think it might have even been, I have this idea. Yes. I'm like, you haven't even heard what it is yet. Yeah. I've been talking about it. So
yeah, I had an idea what was coming. And yes, especially from a cautious collaborator, if you're open, I'm there. Yes. Yes.
I love it. You're so easy, but it's been great. I've really enjoyed.
Hashtag Sandi's easy.
No, I didn't mean that. Sandi's easy and Roben-Marie's cautious. Oh, well, as we have said before, we sure appreciate all your support. And if you are so inclined, please leave us a review on iTunes. We'd sure appreciate it. It'll help us get found. And again, we appreciate it. Thanks so much for listening.
Yeah, we love hearing from you. So continue talking to us and let's keep this conversation going.
Yep, absolutely. All right, have a good one.
All right, take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode of Creatives Get Real.
We sure appreciate all your support.
And you can find me at sandykeene.com and my teaching site, popupartclasses.com.
And you can find me at robenmarie.com and my classes at robenmariestudio.com.